The life of the Dayak of Borneo revolves around their prayers to the spirits, spirits that are present everywhere. When they're peaceful, they protect the people and ensure good crops, but displease them in any way and they'll provoke wars and illness. The spirits are in fact lost souls who failed to find their way to the city of the dead. To help them, the Dayak perform a long and costly ceremony called the Kwangkai. The Dayak live in the Kalimantan region of Indonesian Borneo. 4 Dayak tribes, the Kayan, the Bahau, the Modang, and the Benoa, live beside the river Mahakam. In 1978, a team of Japanese filmmakers spent 4 months in eastern Kalimantan to record on film the last traditional ceremonies of the Dayak.
Oh, yeah.
The Dayak used to be fearsome headhunters, but their way of life has changed dramatically over the past 100 years. The tribes who used to be semi-nomadic have stopped migrating, and the longhouse that used to shelter all the families of a village under one roof is now only a communal center where festivals and ceremonies take place. The Kwangkai, which lasts 2 weeks, will bring all the inhabitants of a village together. First, the participants are purified. The ritual is directed by the Kepala Adat, or Master of Ceremonies, who ensures communication between the world of the living and the world of the dead. The Kwangkai is a ceremony performed for a dead person. The family of the deceased is responsible for its organization. It's a costly ceremony, and it has been 2 years since anyone has been able to afford one in the village. And yet, without it, the soul of the deceased cannot find the way to its last resting place, and is condemned to wander around the village, eventually taking revenge on the inhabitants. Shortly after a death occurs, the body is temporarily buried under a small wooden hut outside the village. It must remain there for at least 8 months, until the decaying flesh, seen as unclean, has entirely disappeared. Only then is the soul ready to depart to the city of the dead. In the present case, the deceased has been dead for 3 years. His son-in-law, Singe, has been chosen by the family to lead the ceremony. The first stage involves the digging up and cleaning of the skeleton. The women of the family are present for the disinterment, chanting ritual laments designed to show the dead man that nothing has been able to comfort them since his death. For the dead man, being disinterred is a good thing. It means that the transition period between his first and second burial is about to end. Each bone is carefully cleaned and then placed inside a wooden box, while Singe says the traditional prayers. The boxes are then taken inside the longhouse. There, the master of ceremonies addresses the dead man's soul. He explains in detail how his journey to the city of the dead will unfold. Spirit, you are our guest. This ceremony is for you. All these objects are for you. Spirit, you are our guest. Please listen carefully to what we need to tell you. Singe, speaking for the dead man, then answers the master of ceremonies.
Thank you for inviting me to this ceremony. I am grateful for all these offerings. I accept the presents you have given, and I will carefully listen to the words you speak. Tell me how to reach the world of the dead, so I can remember your words when the time comes.
The friends and family of the dead man hang onto wooden racks a range of cooking utensils, dishes and glasses, everything the dead man will need in his new home. The master of ceremonies has settled at the foot of a large cradle, also hanging from the ceiling. This is where another spirit will reside for the duration of the Quangkai, a spirit who has come from the city of the dead to attend the ceremony. The master of ceremonies describes the long journey this spirit had to make in order to reach the village. You have crossed 7 rivers, and those 7 rivers, you crossed them on a tree awaiting you on the bank. First, there was the Klawit River, that has 2 arms, wide and deep. Then you cross the Bohong River, and next the Ohong River. At nightfall, in front of the whole village, Singe and his family prepare the dead man's skull for the last journey. Ritual signs and manipulations must be performed before wrapping the skull in cloth. 13 coconuts are also wrapped at the same time. They represent the skulls of other ancestors, already in the beyond, but invited to the Quangkai by the Wadian in order to escort the dead man's soul. Singe takes the skull on his back, while other men carry one coconut each. The master of ceremonies leads the group of dancers, miming the long journey that the spirits must complete to reach the city of the dead. This dance, the Murangkau, slow and solemn, will last over 3 hours and will be repeated every night until the end of the Kuangkai.
Jadi orang Kuangkai ini karena ada susurannya.
Our whole body is part of the susuran. The
Susuran
susuran is the
daging
universe.
kita ini.
Lalu?
Jadi kita
After
punya
death,
urat
our
itu
bodies merge
dia
with the
kembali
universe
dari
around
atas.
us from which they came.
Ya begitu. Kita punya
Our
rambut
hair becomes
kembali
blades of
kepada
grass again.
penjalin.
Our veins turn back
Yeah.
into roots.
Kita punya napas
And our
kembali
breath
dari angin.
turns to air.
Ya, kita punya
Our flesh
isi
becomes
kembalinya
earth.
dari tanah. Ya, kita
And
punya
our bones
tulang
turn to
kembalinya
stone.
jadi batu. Ya.
The time has come for the final procession. Soon the dead man will go to his final resting place across the river. But first the cortege walks around the village to allow him a last look at the place where he spent his life. His old friends invite him to stop for a moment on the threshold of each house, where they say goodbye, wishing him good luck on his last journey. Finally, the procession enters the dead man's house. Inside, through the voice of the master of ceremonies, the dead man praises his daughter. Daughter, be thanked for this Kuangkai. Thanks to you, I am going away in peace. Take good care of our house and our family. I am going away and entrusting them to you. The daughter cries as she answers her father.
I can hear your voice, but I cannot see your face. Every day I mourn your passing, and nothing can comfort me.
In the longhouse, the skull and the coconuts have been placed under the wooden cradle, which the master of ceremonies gently rocks as he sings. Oh, spirits, let me sing you a lullaby that will appease you. With this lullaby you sang for us when we were children, I wish to express my gratitude and devotion to you. Singe agreed to answer our questions about the meaning of the Kuangkai.
Ya, jadi karena dia ninggal itu,
When someone
Kuangkai
dies,
seluruhnya
we are
adatnya
obliged to
itu memang
dedicate
di
him or her a
untuk
Kuangkai.
si mati itu.
We cannot let the spirits go away without showing them how grateful we are for everything they did for us.
Like every other night, the Ngrangkao begins, but this time the women perform it. And the Japanese director, Mrs. Ishoka, joins in. If the Kwangkai costs so much to the dead man's family, it's partly because each evening for the duration of the ceremony, they have to feed all the participants. All in all, they've had to provide 4 tons of rice, 500 kilos of sugar, 500 coconuts, 5 pigs, and dozens of chickens. The last stage of the Kwangkai takes place outside. On the eve of the final burial, the family of the dead man offer in sacrifice their most prized possession, a buffalo. The crowd have come from afar to witness the event. All eyes are turned towards Singe, who afterwards will put the animal to death. The soul of the sacrificed buffalo will accompany the dead man to the city of the dead. Its flesh is offered to the spirits of the ancestors, and its blood is shared between the villagers to give them strength and longevity. In the evening, another Murankau is organized, the last one before the final journey. Around the head of the buffalo has been gathered everything the dead man will need for his journey to Tunankai Solai, the city of the dead. The master of ceremonies can at last begin to chant the farewell song. O skull, take your place inside the boat that will take you to Tunankai Solai. Remain in the center so you don't capsize, and we will place our offerings around you. You will lack nothing during your long trip. Who will undo the ties that hold this boat? It is time to leave, O skull. Now the ties are undone. The boat is already drifting away. The boat is already drifting away. For the dead man, the transition period is almost over. He will soon only be a memory in his relatives' minds. A beautifully sculpted coffin, called a clarin, will shelter the remains of the dead man. The Quang-Kai is over. Seeing that his body is resting in such a beautiful place, surrounded by the graves of the ancestors, the soul of the dead man is reassured, and it can go in peace towards Tenangai Solai.